The story of this young lady made me to know the meaning of that word called inhumanity. Please, listen to this story with me. Years ago, I met this guy on Facebook. He had a little baby with an Indian woman. He had a contract marriage with the Indian woman who said that she doesn't want to have anything to do with the child, a baby girl. We became friends. Then he told me about the little baby. He brought her to Nigeria. She was just 3 months old then. He left the baby with his younger brother and his cousin sister in Lagos. We became so close that I was doing everything for him, even without knowing him or seeing him for the first time. I was coming to Lagos every weekend to check on the baby because then I was still in school. After some times, I got tired of coming to Lagos to check on the child, so I decided to take the baby with me to Onitsha. Even without having the idea of how to look after a baby, I took care of this child. I even took her down to my village to show my mom and my dad. I even had her do her baptism. I took care of her to the age of 5 years. When she was just a year and 3 months, the guy came back. We got married. Immediately after my wedding, I got pregnant and the guy went back to India. So I was staying here in Lagos with the younger brother and the sister. I was 4 months pregnant when they brought their last born to Lagos from the village to stay with us. They set the house on fire and I was inside the house. I didn't know what happened. We were staying in a 3-story building. We lived at the last floor. They tried their best to put off the fire. They could not put off the fire and they ran away, leaving me inside the house. I would say that they purposely set the house on fire because the family members never liked me and I don't know why. When I woke up at night, I noticed that the house was on fire. I tried to open the door, but the door was locked. The next thing was that the PVC up opened and the house caught fire. My bed and wardrobe was on fire. Then the fire caught my dress at the back. I ran out to the balcony because that was a master bedroom. I rubbed my back at the wall. I never knew what else to do. That was my 4th month pregnancy. I was trying to see if I can jump down to the balcony of the 2nd floor. That was around 9 p.m. People saw me climbing and the crowd was much. In the process, my hand slipped. I fell on the crowd. I thought it was gone when my hand slipped. I shouted Jesus and closed my eyes. I fell with my back. I had some injuries and dislocations and I was rushed to the hospital. Nothing happened to my baby. The fire service came and put up the fire. Then after that, the family came and started having problems with me, that I brought bad luck into the family, that since they were there, nothing like this happened. But immediately after they married me, the house caught fire and they lost everything. My husband tried to put back the house in order because he was not around then. He has gone back to India. Serious problems started coming from them. They came and took away the little child from me. I was disturbing to have her back. Then she was a year and 8 months. After some times, they brought her back. The mother hated me. They never wanted their brother to marry from my state. They said that we are wayward. In that house, it was just hell. I cried every particular day. The family member always tell my husband that I never loved the girl. Maybe I maltreat the girl, which I can never do to any child. A child that I took care of when she was still 3 months. A child that I do carry on my back to the university. Even my husband's younger brother kept giving me trouble, saying that I would die with the pregnancy. At the 9th month of my pregnancy, this guy fought me. Thank God my younger sister was around. She helped me out. My daddy came the next day and settled the whole matter. I gave birth to a baby girl. My mom came for the babysitting, which is Omugo, but they were not happy that my mom came. My mom stayed only 2 weeks and left, and their own mom came. They were not comfortable with my mom around. Their mom came and spent 3 months with us. She was well taken care of when she was going. That was not my problem. The problem was that while she was around, she made life miserable for me. One day I was in my room with my husband. He was sleeping in the bed and I wanted to go and take my bath. I removed my clothes and closed the door, and suddenly the mother came and started dragging the door with me. She pushed me down with the door. She came and saw me naked and asked if I wanted to go and take my bath. She went to check on his son to know if he was okay. She said, is he sleeping? I said yes, and I went into the bathroom. Later that day, I called my husband's cousin sister and I told her that my mother-in-law doesn't knock before entering our room, and look at what she did today. The girl confronted the mother and told her that what she did was wrong. When I left the house, my husband called me and told me to run back to the house immediately. I came back and saw my mother-in-law crying and rolling on the floor. I was surprised. I was asking what happened. Did anybody die? He asked me who did I tell that his mother should never enter our room again. I told him that I never did so. I told him what happened. The woman was crying, telling my husband to take me back to where he brought me from, that anyone that came to scatter her family should leave her family. I was so confused that I started crying. I was telling my husband that I didn't do such a thing. The guy said I should go and kneel down and beg his mother. I knelt down for more than 30 minutes begging her, but she never wanted to listen to me, saying that I should go out of the house, that they would return me back to where they brought me from. We later settled it. Then I got pregnant for the second time. That time, they made it clear that my mom will not come for the babysitting. Then I asked why. They said that's how they want it. I was supposed to give birth to my baby on January. The guy came back from India December time. A day after he came back, he traveled down to his hometown and brought his mom down to Lagos for the babysitting, even before the baby was born. I was surprised what was happening. The pregnancy stayed more than it should, and I was wondering why. So on the night, I was in labor. But on Wednesday before then, a pastor called me at night that he was praying in the church and saw a woman who doesn't want me to give birth. I rejected that, and I told him that I have no problem with any woman, that the person is simply wasting her time. That Friday, I was in labor. I went to the hospital, and the next morning, I delivered my child, a baby boy. I was there when they cleaned up the baby and wore him his clothes, and he was okay. The doctor that delivered me that baby, I have never seen that doctor all the time I was coming for the antenatal till that day. I was surprised when I saw him. He was a very young man. After that, they asked me to go to the ward, that they will bring my baby later, that they want to check him. After some hours of waiting in the ward, I asked, and they said I should wait and will not allow me into the labor room to see my baby. I gave birth around 10 a.m., but up till 12 p.m., I have not seen my baby. I started disturbing. I didn't know that my baby was no longer in that hospital. I didn't know what happened. I was still very young because I was 21 years old when I married him. I started making noise, and they said that I should relax, that my husband took the child away. When my husband came, I asked him, where is my child? He said that the baby had heart problem, so they took him to a Navy hospital. I asked, why didn't him tell me before taking my baby away? I said, okay, let me go to the Navy hospital. I want to see my baby. He said, okay, that I should go and see the doctor first. I went down to the doctor's office. When I get there, I was told that my baby was dead. I asked them, what are they talking about? That my baby was okay when I left the labor room. They said he was having heart problem. I said, okay, let me see my baby's dead body. My husband said that he had already gone to bury him. I said, within a short while, how did he do it without even telling me? How possible is that here in Lagos? I said that I want to go to the grave where they buried my child. I started making trouble. Then I had no one then in Lagos to help me. I had no one then in Lagos to run to at that moment. When I got home, the little children that were around playing with the baby where they left the baby in the labor room said that a nurse came and asked them to leave, and the nurse was hiding a long string behind at her back. When they left, they don't know what happened again, but they later saw their uncle, which is my husband, coming out from the labor room with a box, which means my baby was inside that box. I started shouting. They seized my phone. No way to call my parents or anybody. I had to borrow money here in Lagos to go to my village to go and tell my parents. In fact, I can't really tell why my dad couldn't do anything about this matter even till today. Before I got back to Lagos, they have packed out from the house where we were living. They ran away with the two children. Until today, I have not set my eyes on them. The last time I spoke with him, I told him I want to see my children. He kept saying very soon. They left with my little baby when she was about 2 years and 6 months, and she's almost 8 years old now. I have not seen them. I'm really looking for a way to see them. He got married to another woman immediately, and I am also happily married. I told him that I want to see my children, and he has not told me what he did to my son. Even if I see the child on the road today, I will not recognize him. That time, nobody was out to help me, even when I wanted to go to the human rights. Last year, I called the guy and threatened him that I will take this matter to court if he doesn't want me to see my children. He then said that he will bring them to me last December, but he didn't. Up to today, I have not seen them. He only sent me their pictures, but in the picture that I saw, my little girl has bruises all over her body. I asked him what happened to my girl. He said that the girl plays a lot in school. That was why he has injuries all over her body. So, seriously, I am looking for a way to see my children. I want to know how they are. I want to know if they are okay. I need advice, seriously. I need advice. I want to know how to go with all these things. Please, I need advice. That is her story. Please advise her on what to do. All she wants now is how to see her children and know how they are. Drop your advice on the comment area and share this video now. Please feel free to contact me on WhatsApp if you want to share your story here in House of the Sons Global. Share this video and see you next Friday. Thank you.